gone wrong. The boss man's breathing down my neck, the bills are piling high, but I got a taste for some good bourbon and friends to get me by. Yeah, the Thursday night blues are calling my name. Pour another glass, put out the work week's flame. Got the boys on the TV screen talking about that bourbon and them other shiny things. The smoke hangs heavy around the room, the glasses start to clink. My trouble's drifting down the drain. I try my best not to think. Just the sound of my good buddies laughing at the joke. The stories flowing from our lips beneath the bourbon smoke. Yeah, the Thursday night blues are calling my name. Pour another glass, put out the work week's flame. Got the boys on the TV screen talking about that bourbon and them other shiny things. Some folks chase the money, some chase a different kind of thrill. But all I want on a Thursday night is to let this old heart be still. Just a little bit of amber liquid and a few good souls to share. Knowing come tomorrow morning we'll still be standing there. Yeah, the Thursday night blues are calling my name. Pour another glass, put out the work week's flame. Got the boys on the TV screen talking about that bourbon and them other shiny things. Yeah, Bourbon and Ballz, pouring out that bourbon till the bottle's gone. And the Friday sun rises. That's a Thursday night blue. I'm drinking with my friends. Yeah, we know it's early, but we can't wait for the weekend. We're in a hurry, cause we're thirsty again, but we're not worried when we're saying what we mean and what we meant. Honest camaraderie is something like the lottery. So all I ask.
Good evening, and then McBurney fans, it's going to be an epic night. Yeah, it's going to be quite the night, and strap on and... Strap on? No, strap on. Strap on?
You...
It took all of 5 minutes.
Strap in. Strap in.
Put a strap on and strap
in. That's not... All right, let's just get... Oh, my God. I can't even... Strap in or whatever. Just get in for the ride.
You said it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's funny and gross at the same time. You know that montage video we did? There's Ashley sucking on it crawdad.
You just wish it was you.
What? What?
All right, so we just got canceled.
What the hell?
That's
That, dude.
No, that is not what I meant. That is not.
Oh my God. That's Weller. Knows that. Good God. Good man, he just, something died. Holy,
That's bad. What did they feed him today, dude? I thought you. Oh,
good. You can't even breathe here. Oh, that's gonna throw a nosing off. Oh my God, I can't even.
I can reach out. That could be one of our things we do. You know, we're talking about doing these commercials or these ads or these videos for these different products. I can reach out to a manufacturer that makes it today, get one, and you do the video. And sit there and go, oh. I'm riding the bike and going,
Put the glitter in my hand. I'm starting to become immune to press. This doesn't even bother me anymore.
that's right.
Oh.
I'm like, that smells pretty good.
Yeah, we know it's early, but we can't wait for the weekend. Let's get on with the show with you all, with our friends from Bourbon and Ballz. Enjoy the show and have a great weekend. Hey! Keep on chasing highs.
There's shit everywhere. Congrats, CJ.
Congrats, CJ. And we actually have, I think there's a couple things coming out his way. It's been hot, very, very, very hot. So I've been very sensitive on shipping these prizes out to you all because it's so hot. But welcome, anyways, to Bourbon and Ballz. But congratulations, CJ. And hopefully things are going well for you out there. And I'm producing the show tonight, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's different when Tyler's not here.
It is.
It's just a noticeable difference. So
It is.
Tyler, you know, hurry back, buddy.
It makes you wonder how we did it before.
Yeah, right.
it's managed. Yeah.
Right.
You don't
So,
know what you
anyways,
don't know what
so
you got until it's gone.
if we remember how to do this, and if the sound is working, I imagine it is because no one's griping yet. So let's get through the hellos and whatnot, and we'll get to tonight's guest. And there's some news to the channel. If you guys are on Patreon, you know some of it already. It's not. There's going to be a couple of changes, whether it's going to be through the live stream itself and also the Patreon itself. Just kind of looking at how we've been doing things and whatnot. We decided to go out a different direction, not too terribly different. But you will notice some changes. It's going to start in 2 weeks. I think we just got to work out the small kinks. But nevertheless, we got the foundation of what we want to do. So tonight we'll talk about one of them. Next week we'll talk about the other stage. And then we're ready to roll come July 30th. Just how we do things around here look a little different. But I think at the end of the day, with you guys in mind, we want it to kind of benefit you all. And at the end of the day. So
I just got one comment.
Oh God.
I missed the memo.
What memo?
Oh, what?
the shirts.
What are you talking about?
You got the black bourbon and balls, and
Oh,
I
you
got
got Bourbon and Ballz
the,
on.
I know, but I mean,
Oh, there was no
kinda-
coordination.
All right. So, all
I
right.
just show up, man.
That being said, let's say hello to the
There's no coordination,
people in
I
chat,
promise.
to the friends and family out there. Mr. Dave Vogel saying, yes, cheers, you need a
JVV.
win. Well, you didn't get the pregame. That belongs to CJ. So sorry about that. Gun Hand Luke. Luke, likewise, he was a winner of the US Open, by the way. He's getting that Bushwood.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you and
Yeah,
I
we
got,
got
it.
that
Yeah,
the
we got
other
that the other day. So, anyways, any of the those prizes they're going to go out on Monday. That way, it gives the whole entire week to get to where they need to go, and they're not sitting in warehouses.
Yep.
And that includes the Romines, and then Patrick. I appreciate throughout there reminding us on a couple of things. Listen, we don't get everything right around here. So if we forget something and you're thinking,
Don't put
man,
we in that sentence.
I was
good.
gonna say you got a mouse in your pocket.
Yeah.
don't even you get me roused up within 5 minutes of the show.
Poking bears. Poking
No,
bears.
You try sending all this stuff
I understand. It's
and remembering.
it's
My point is,
I get it.
my point is,
I know.
some of these people aren't getting their stuff,
Yeah.
and it's not intentional.
No,
it's
we just
we're-
need general
idiots.
reminders. Yeah.
We're idiots.
Well, yeah.
Oh, mouse in the pocket.
Again, we
Dude, I'm telling you. You know
why
what?
Why you
It's 8:04
pluralizing this stuff?
8:04 Eastern, and it's gonna be on.
Singular. It's
Anyways, I'm not even. Anyways, I'm all discombobulated. All right,
there's
let's
me
go.
and there's we.
Jimmy Dirks, cheers to you, brother. Thanks for joining. Dennis, thank you for
Hey,
joining
Dennis.
us again.
Thanks,
Mr. Chris Barlow, thank you, brother.
Yes.
Which brings me to Circle City, our pick. You're probably
Mhm.
wondering where in the hell that pick is. It's coming anytime now,
Okay.
as I'm told. So give it another week and we should have a better update.
Okay.
So
Cool.
East Coast Whiskey Sippers, catch him on Instagram. Actually, I think he has shorts too. Anyways, he is a Bourbonado fan as well. Speaking of Bourbonado, and I'm gonna pause every time I think of something, as you guys know I do.
Squirrel.
Next week is a huge. Now we have Drew Hannush on tonight from Whiskey Lore. You guys I think you guys be entertained by him.
Oh yeah.
Next week is a big week for us. Another Bourbon and Ballz idea. Bill McBrayer is going to be in the studio, and he is going to be part of our judge panel among the people here, plus Tyler, I think, will play. And then 2 people from Bourbonado has been elected to come on the show. They have their own Cedarbrook pick, and then 2 people from Whiskey Nose. I believe it's going to be Marty and Toby. They're going to come onto the show, and I already sent their blinds, and we're all going to blind it, and we're going to see what channel, what community got the best barrel pick of the Cedarbrook. Be fun.
It
Be
will.
a fun competition.
And we got a little bit of finger on the scale too.
What do you mean?
With Mr. McBrayer?
He doesn't know any better. Well, I mean, I don't mean it that way, but I mean, he does. It's all blind.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So that being said, Mr. Morning, cheers to you,
He's gonna
brother.
help us out.
Thanks for coming on, Mr. Elijah Craig. Man, I'm sad to see that the World Cup is coming to an end. Argentina has got 9 lives.
They do.
I swear,
Keep going.
they just seem
keep
like
going.
they just played the last couple of minutes of soccer or football. But nevertheless, it's Argentina and Spain on Sunday at 3:00. And that reminds me to remind you all, Patreon people who've been playing the World Cup fantasy game. It comes down basically to my math, if I'm correct.
Oh, boy.
If Spain wins, Patrick wins.
Okay.
If Argentina wins, Nick Collin wins.
So Danny was leading the whole time. and-
Until France got knocked out, and
Wow.
that put I think Gandy fell like 4 or 5 spots
Wow.
just by 1 game. So it's going to come down to those 2 people, and then obviously they'll get a prize at the end. But man, what a World Cup, right?
Wild.
I hate to see it go. I enjoyed this more than I did the Olympics.
Oh, it's always fun to get on and watch.
Yeah.
It's
I personally, I only watched 2 games, Mexico and the U.S., and they both lost, so I quit.
Dude, enjoy the sport.
You know what?
It's-
Yeah. Seeing even the cities, like
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
up,
Oh, yeah. I
going
know.
around.
They
and
went-
they went
yeah,
wild. Man.
They did.
Anyways, Elijah Craig has been in the chat in the Discord, and Elijah and Craig and C.A. Scotty and Patrick and a few other of us has been talking
War Cup throughout this time. It's been a lot of fun. I hate to see it go, but man, what a display of a sport that is for hopefully MLS will get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Where is the
Well-
the final being played? Is it? In,
I think in Miami.
It was cool to have it in.
Yeah, nothing like having in Miami in July Sunday afternoon.
Mm.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep, it does.
Anyways, moving on. Let's see here. We have Mr. Jay Cornett. Cheers to you.
Jay.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you as always, Mr. Stan Sabick. We will see you at Bourbon on the Banks. Depending on how far we get in tonight's stream, we might have a little teaser.
Might have one.
Breaking news.
Might.
A half an hour ago, we
Maybe.
found this out.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Stay tuned.
Stay
Dun, dun,
tuned.
dun.
Yes. So, assuming we don't forget,
Which
we
is
got some
highly
Bourbon on the
possible.
Banks news to share to you guys that we learned half an hour ago. All right, Mr. Chris Blankenship, as
Chris.
always, Mr. Only Drams. Cheers to you. Thank you for coming on.
Mr. McDonald.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully, whatever that is, you get through that. But water, you know what? There are times where I'll get on Google Meets and I'm drinking Propel. Sometimes that is like hanging out with the community.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
always need to drink.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
You really don't.
I hope you don't have that cyclospore or whatever that is, that bug that's going around.
No.
Oh, that's the
Yeah. Yeah,
going
it's-
like lettuce and
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
vegetables,
Yeah,
fruits.
vegetables.
Yeah.
Mr.
That's nasty.
Farm Doc, Dave Rinstrom. Cheers
Hey,
to
Dave.
you. He's the latest addition to the Whiskey Wisdom saga. If anybody's been watching it.
yeah, he's helping us out, isn't he?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about Whiskey Wisdom. You're in another planet right now. I'm talking about the videos.
All
Which
right.
apparently you have not been watching.
Anyway,
Go to Whiskey
Dude.
Wisdom. It's awesome.
The villains of whiskey too, or
Yeah,
something.
the
like
villains.
that. Mhm.
There's a big segment on Dave.
okay.
He's playing Mr. Pharmacy and he's hanging out. He's passing out drugs and shit. It's my kind of fantasy. I'm just kidding. I don't know why.
Bro, really?
I have no idea why I said that. I don't.
Come on, elaborate for us.
No, dude.
What does that
The-
mean?
The worst I think ever. Well, you know what? We'll talk about this later. Let's get through this chat.
Fantasy of yeah. All right.
I shouldn't have said that. Scott Gallagher, cheers to you, brother.
Scott.
There's a funny story. Maybe I'll say it later. We all hung out on Saturday, but we didn't know which house we're going to. We're all sitting at each other's houses, our own house, waiting for the other person to come over.
Everybody has food ready.
Oh, I have like
Drinks ready.
oh yeah, I got hors d'oeuvres setting out and everything, and
Candles lit.
And-
yeah.
Got the potpourri going, give a
Potpourri
little bit
going.
of atmosphere.
anyways. Cheers to you, Scott. Don't mind them. When you look at the television, just cover 2/3 of the television. That's all you gotta do. Don't mind these two knuckleheads.
And they're running the show.
Whiskey Bill, cheers to you, brother. It's been a minute. Glad to see you back again as always. Let's see here. Relentless Mikey. Yes, you all could use some more mods. Yes, we are a mod-friendly channel. So,
Relentless Mikey, is that a new? That's a new
yes, it
one.
is. So
Yeah,
welcome to the channel for sure. So everybody, make sure you give a Bourbon and
Relentless
Ballz
Mikey.
welcome to Relentless Mikey.
Welcome, brother.
So there we go. Mr. Bortner, cheers to you, brother. Thanks for coming on. Mr. Jim Turner, cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. We also have CJ.
The big winner.
Yes, the winner of tonight's pregame. And we'll talk about the changes of the pregame and the hashtag after our guest. So probably around the 9 o'clock hour, we have some new news to talk about. Torp, cheers to you, brother.
Torp.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Mr. NKY, Northern Kentucky Dog, Union 52, cheers to you. We
42.
will.
Union 42.
What did I say?
52.
52.
42, 50. I know where it's at. How's that?
Yeah,
One of these days we'll do a
220,
meetup.
221, it all works.
Yeah.
We're definitely doing
It's all the same. The numbers don't matter. Just saying.
you know what? You know what I should have done?
Welcome back,
You know what I
Chad.
should have done? You know what I should have done? You know what I should have done tonight? It'd been awesome.
What?
The last second. Sit in your chair. God. Well,
He gave us that preemptive before the show.
he just Lord. Anyways. So
Is this
anyways,
work on my
I
nose?
lost my train of thought. Anyways, I should have had you produce the show as well. Gerald Romine, cheers to you,
You're doing
brother.
Great, bro.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man.
Weller, man, he's on a roll tonight. Gandy, cheers to you, brother. I had lunch with him the other day.
Oh yeah, you guys went to Nice Chili.
Well, it was too crowded, so I went to Little Roses.
Oh, you did.
And there was nobody there. Hardly.
Oh, I wonder why.
Anyways, always great hanging out with Gandy. All right, moving on. We also have in the chat Renee Hughes, Todd's lovely wife. Cheers
Hello,
to you,
Renee.
thank you for coming on. Appreciate you as always, and your husband, and what you guys do over there, Whiskey Sippers, which, by the way, they are on at 6 p.m.
And
Eastern.
they just celebrated 2 years.
Yes, they did.
Congrats.
But they are at 6 p.m. Eastern on every Thursday. Jenny Bykowski, I would imagine. Well, you're the better half. Mr. Bykowski is around here somewhere. They are the OGs of Bourbon and Ballz, believe it or not. They are the first. This trivia ever comes up, they are the first bottle winner ever. The first winner ever on Bourbon and Ballz.
Oh, yeah.
Back when we first started. So, little trivia for you. All right, moving on. Snow Baboon. Cheers
Welcome.
to you. What?
I just said welcome.
Oh, cheers to you. Thanks for coming on. Startled me. God, I swear.
Princess approved.
Would you want to take
Go ahead. No, you're good.
What?
Pressing that button.
First, look at this. First time watch. I have no. You know what? I'm curious. We're letting this. How did you even find us in this monstrosity? There must be nothing else on.
No.
But hey, appreciate you doing it.
No, for
Yes.
real. We are appreciate it. But hey, our man Duran,
Hey, Duran.
D-Ron, and Whiskey Lore's in chat, and also they're in the green room. Thank you for saying hello in chat. We'll bring you on here in a moment. One, Mr. Keith Glandon. Cheers to you, brother, as always. Long time.
Keith, is my goatee look better? I did.
Dude,
I bought the straightening iron.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, what'd you do? Tell us. Do tell.
Well, it's basically it's a hot iron comb, and you heat it up, and you put oil on it, and you just kind of brush it until it straightens out. Then you put the beard balm.
You know what?
You put what balm?
Beard balm.
Beard balm.
Beard balm.
Okay.
So is your
Yes.
beard
Beard
waxing
rub.
right now?
It's kind of oily.
Chad, what you feel? Let's see what it feels like.
No, I'm good. I'll
No,
observe
but what was
from a
happening was it
distance.
was curling.
Dude, it was wavy last week.
Yeah,
It looked
it
like
was-
someone
You
just
should
chopped
get
it off.
the like
I do.
the
I got
curls.
the handlebar going, but I don't have it waxed.
Where'd you get it from? Like,
Wax it, man.
Where'd
You got
you get it
the
from, like,
wax.
like Hims?
I got it off Amazon.
Okay.
All right.
How long you had it?
You are coachable.
This
huh?
goatee?
Yeah.
Jeez, I've had this thing for probably 35 years.
How do you trim it? Scissors? Scissors.
Scissors.
So whenever you see like a split end,
When I get a wild hair that goes up my nose, I snip it.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what else to say about that.
But
All
yeah,
you
I
beard
hope
guys
That's all I
out
got
there
to
should
say about
appreciate that.
Forrest Gump.
All right. All right. Well, moving on. We get sidetracked as we do. David Tanko, the king of jerky.
Go.
Cheers to you, brother. Thanks for coming on. Mr. Patrick Littledew, dude, it's down to you and, well, you're Spain and down to Nick Collin, Argentina. Let's see who wins. I'm rooting for Argentina, if I'm being honest.
Why?
I know they won last time, but
You're a
man,
Messi
they're like
fan?
the comeback kids, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Spain would be. Yeah,
Yeah, Spain
I
would
don't
be
know
cool.
much about them anyway, so I don't know why I'm talking.
Thank you very much. So, anyways, Patrick, good luck on Sunday. All right, moving on. Hey, it's John.
Hey,
Swim back
John.
from Colpic.
Yep.
Hey, we're
Nice.
drinking your stuff, by the way.
Thanks,
So
brother.
say hello to Kevin up there, up north. I got to email you back and let you know what's going on our end as far as our schedule. But I'll get with you afterwards. All right, Tracy Silly Yorkie. Hey, you know what? She never even brought this up. Tracy, we got some samples for you. I bet you didn't even know you were missing, or maybe you did and you just forgot. I cleaned out this basement on Saturday. You notice?
It looks pretty.
I threw
pretty
away.
nice, man.
I drain poured about. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I drain poured about 100 samples.
Okay.
Things I'll never go back to, or media samples, stuff like that.
Right.
Drain poured. And you can see the counter space, and then
It
over
looks-
there is cleaned up. Anyways, that being said, while we're rummaging through all that, I found some old Louisville samples. I mean, these have got to be somebody's. Why would we save them? We always give those away.
Mhm.
So we had to go back and watch the old Louisville episode,
Oh, okay.
and it belongs to Tracy.
Oh, really? It
So I'm
wasn't
gonna send those out on Monday.
Cool.
Huh.
I don't know.
About time.
Nice.
Come on, give him help. Come on.
Anyways, you're responsible just as much as I am. Don't even.
I package it.
They're not even packaged.
They were just samples sitting out,
Yes.
not marked.
No.
Okay.
I had to go watch
It's
the
Tyler's
show.
fault. He's
I
not
had to
here.
go watch the
Oh.
show.
Here comes the blame game.
All right, Big Bourbon Club. Here we go. Harold McAdory. Cheers to you. You guys are killing it in your travels. They are posting it. And you guys are just having a time of your life, I'm sure. And can't wait to hear all about it. But cheers to you all and stay safe while you guys are out there. Frank, our man from South Carolina, cheers for you, brother. I think you two have a package coming your way. I believe so. Anyways, that being said, all right, we'll get through this. I promise. Matt Bukowski, cheers to you, brother. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you as always. And then, yeah. Oh, I thought he said high and tight. Never mind. My eyes are bad. Thank God it's Thursday. Thank God it's Thursday is what he said. I thought it said high and tight. That's how bad my eyes are.
High and tight.
Because we're talking about his beard.
Oh, okay.
Did he get a haircut too? Got a high and tight.
No one cares about that. Hammer Adams, cheers to you and your husband, as I would imagine somewhere around here, Alan. Cheers to him too. So, all right, moving through the rest of the chat, and we'll get through the to get to the guest, Christy Romine. Cheers to you, and I would imagine your husband is around here somewhere
Yeah,
as
we've
well.
already said hi to him, I believe.
We're not keeping score.
Thought I
yet.
did.
Oh, there's Ashley.
I think we should.
Cheers to you.
We
I
have
think
been.
we should.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
And then there's Alan.
Alan, welcome.
Cheers to you. There we go. So we're not
Early
keeping
one.
score. This is
Well,
I'm not used to this. See,
See,
Scotty. Nice. Cheers to you, brother. He's coming to Bourbon on the Banks. I'm so excited.
wow. Across the country.
That put the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Little cherry on top.
Is that what it is? What did I say?
No, icing. It is icing on the cake.
But I did hand motion like it was a cherry.
You did.
So that made
Yeah,
no
that's
sense what I
why.
just did.
That's why I helped you.
Thank you.
I gave you a layup, man. There was the assist.
Layup. I
one
forget this
here.
plank. I break it.
You bricked it, but I laid it there for you. The alley oop, man. Just handed it.
All right. Moving on to the chat, and we are getting to the end, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming on this evening. We have a special guest, or some of you guys may not know who they are, but
All right.
who he is.
FH.
Vinny.
Vinny.
Oh, okay. Vinny.
Is your memory that bad again?
It is that bad. I don't have a CT like you two, but
No. Okay. No, it's Vinny from.
yeah.
Let him answer.
Yeah.
From.
Spillway.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I just
All right. Very good. We got Rick Miller.
Hey, Rick.
Good old Rickety Doo. I'm just making up stuff tonight. Cheers to you, and thanks for tuning in. All right, I think we are through chat, and if we are, saw Brandon up in the pics. Brandon Spinner. I don't know. Zach. I haven't seen him in a minute. Cheers to you. Thank you for coming on as always, brother. Let's see here. Mr. Bob Guzman, Mr. OG. He's coming on the show when you're gone.
Week August 6th.
what is it? 6?
Yep. It's going to be our highest rated show.
I hope it is.
Bob always brings in.
No, Bob is great. I love Bob's got the best palate I know.
Yeah, he does.
That I've met. He comes from a Scotch background. Hey, speaking of Scotch, did you see
hmm
what we're giving away?
So how did that come about? Because I was kind of floored by that. I mean, you're giving
So,
away
okay.
because of the
So what Jeff is talking about, part of our paid Patreon, we have games all the time. Right now, the British Open is going on.
Yep.
And so I looked up is their official whiskey of the British Open, and there is. It's called the whatever that word was, Lockhart. Anyways, so I looked that up, and then I looked up, what value you want to give to as far as what we generally do, what I like to do, and so it's an 18-year-old single malt.
Oh, really?
Now, for those who don't like single malt, such as myself, I put in parentheses or same bourbon value. But
is it not La Prague?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, we did have the walleye run the other night. You like that?
Do I?
The walleye run? single malt Monday.
Yes,
That
you're
was
right.
good. So you may
Dennis
be
Trench,
transitioning.
can I get a BNB PayPal link, please? Yes, you can. Here's my email for everyone to see. There you go.
Write it
Please
down. Spam
it.
the hell out.
Yeah, spam it.
Send some nice pictures.
Pictures, whatever you want. Write it on any bathroom stall in the country. Yeah, please load it up. He's got plenty of space.
Hey, James Lay, new guy.
James, welcome.
Yes. Everybody say hello and give a Bourbon and Ballz welcome to James Lay. Thank you very much. All right, I'm sorry. We really have to get going on this one. Got to climb around Brick House. Ooh, really? We got to talk about that later. So, all right. Mr. Ben Gillette. Yes. Love me some Bourbon and
Ben.
Balls.
What's up, brother?
Yeah. So they just had a interview with Heart Truth on Wednesday. Pretty good interview.
Yep.
So that was really good. All
Gary?
right. Let's see here.
Yeah,
Bama,
Gary?
thanks for coming back again. Appreciate you. You should do one of these live from Revival Spirits. We did we?
No, we didn't.
No,
We had Ed Bly with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we need to go down there.
Yeah,
Yes,
we do.
I think it's long overdue, Tony Cat, and we'll talk to Brad, and we definitely need to go back down there.
Yeah, Brad was on the show with us that night.
Yeah,
too.
we've had Brad on before, and man, we love that place.
Yep.
And for those who travel through Northern Kentucky, there's nothing like Revival Spirits if you're looking for
it's a unique spot. for
Yes,
sure.
Mikey, Bourbon and Gray Balls. That's that dude over there. Yeah. All right, MD McKinney, VIP. How much are the shirts? Well, funny you ask. We are in the midst of releasing a lot of changes going around here at Bourbon and Balls. We're actually about to do a merch store, and Matt from Whiskey Wisdom is helping me. We're not there yet. That's not on this week or next week's list to do, but hopefully within the next month you'll see that. But if I had to guess when they do that, it's going to be in the mid-20s. But there's other ways to get it too. I know there's a Patreon level that you do get free shirt, and then every now and then we'll give it away, stuff like that. So yeah, so there you go. Stay tuned. But yes, we have that in mind for sure. All right. Let's see here. Let's get through. Keep on saying we're gonna get through chat, but Keith P. Cheers to you, brother. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. I see him in other chats too. It's always good to see familiar things. What are your thoughts on Cold Pick? We love Cold Pick. And matter of fact, end link. I know you might be new to this channel. I pinned it in the chat. We did our own Cold Pick. Own Cold Pick.
Barrel pick.
Barrel pick.
Barrel pick. And pick. For those who know, you know. So there that is on cue there. We have a single barrel coming out. I'm going to pick up the bottles at the end of the month. All the profits will go to the CarrieLynnCares.org organization. It's a great foundation. If you look at our videos, MD McKinney, you'll see our barrel pick experience that we had about a month ago. So that may answer your question. We love Cold Pick.
Yep.
We absolutely love
absolutely
Cold Pick.
do.
And then we have another announcement to make, not just yet about Cold Pick. We want to get through this barrel pick first, but we have some other exciting news coming down the road. But tell you what, nicest people we ever met. But you know what, the juice is just as good, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. But again, all profits will go to the CarrieLynnCares.org foundation. The link is in the chat. It's pinned. We're taking orders up until I think next Thursday, and then we're cutting off the orders because I go pick up the bottles.
Okay.
So, all right. That being said, there's the answer to that. Let's see here. I think
There's Jerry.
yes. Oh, real quick. Yes, thank you, Renstrom. All the channels were rated as far as how well they can identify the picks. I'll be tracking them, and yes,
Ooh,
he built the spreadsheet. Yes,
that's what I was referring to.
yes. I'm taking way too long on this chat because it's only on 8:08. I'm about a half an hour behind.
Jeez.
I know. This is what
Whoa.
I get. This is why Tyler needs to be here.
So here's what we're gonna do, and I apologize for those who are logged in and chatted after 8, a little after 8. I'm gonna have to get to the guest and why we're here. So I deeply apologize. I see Marty, Josh, some other fellows in there.
John.
We'll get to you guys here in a minute. But Whiskey Lore, you have a gray screen on you, I think.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, it's going to be Drew Hannush from Whiskey Lore. He is the creator of the Whiskey Lore platform. He has his own podcast, basically, as well as he's a hell of an author as well. He wrote the book on Whiskey Lore, which is like a myth busting type book. Goes through different myths of the whiskey world, and he kind of either debunks them or proves them.
24 minutes? Is that 20?
No,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. He also has a series of books, and I've got 2 of the 4. He's got Experiencing American Whiskey. This one breaks it down by regions, and he goes through all the distilleries in each region. And he's going through right now a kind of a bracket contest for the different regions.
Hey, Jeffrey, I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
Whiskey Lore, I sent you the email link. Unless Jeff did not send me the right email, I sent you the link. Or did I not send him the right link? Oh, yeah, I sent him. Check your email. I sent it 7/28.
Did you send him this week's or last week's? Because remember, there's 2 in there. I just want to say.
Hold on, let me check. I sent him this week's. I'm almost certain of it. Hold on. Yes, I sent him this week's.
Okay.
Now we're echoing.
Now we're echoing. Yeah. So check your email, and then you just press on it, and then we'll bring you in.
Yep.
All right. So while we wait for him, I thought he was backstream.
Okay. So yeah, we've got the Experiencing American Whiskey. He also has Experiencing Kentucky Bourbon, and he goes through the different Kentucky distilleries and the bourbon within Kentucky. He also has an Irish whiskey, a Tennessee whiskey. He travels the world going to different distilleries. He's very well versed in everything we're involved with.
All right, I'm gonna stop you again. He's saying that he didn't have the right email. We may not have the right email.
Double
We
check.
sent it. Well, I don't know if I want to say it, but anyways, I sent it to the one that Jeff gave me. So
Resend.
Drew at whiskeylore.com. It's on his website.
oh, okay. That's what
I didn't
okay, might as well get out his phone number too.
Or you want Charlie's number?
No, I sent it to Drew at whiskeylore.com. It said it went through at 7/28.
and it came from Bourbon and Ballz.
Yes.
Check your junk mail. It probably spammed us.
Here, I found another Drew Hannush email, assuming it's you. Travel Life.
Oh, yeah. That's his older
Okay.
show. Let me see here.
Need the dash. Need the dash, Jeff. That's why I didn't go through. Leave it up to Jeff.
Hashtag Jeff.
Jeffro. It's whiskey dash lore, he is saying.
Not underscore.
Or something.
Um,
Way to go. Hey, how have you been talking to him?
by email.
Dude, you're gonna have to send him the link.
It's all right. Whiskey dash lore then.
Well, I'm all discombobulated. You're gonna have to send it.
Send me the link.
Nope, we got him. Never mind. I must have fixed it.
Of course.
Of course,
Charlie takes
you
credit.
fixed it. Of course, you
Charlie's
fixed
the
it.
problem solver.
You're welcome, Drew.
Oh, Drew.
Don't
Thanks
mind-
for
don't
hanging
mind-
with
don't
us,
mind Jeff.
man.
No worries.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing? Thanks for the
We're
invite.
doing wonderful, and welcome to Bourbon and Ballz. This is how we do things. We just figured, hey, we'll get you on about 20 minutes later than what we told you we would, and
That's
we
fine.
probably won't email you the right link, but you'll figure it out.
It's funny because I was just sitting here going, Well, they must just like send it at the last minute to keep your adrenaline going.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of suspense around here for sure.
Yeah.
So, real quick, Drew, we got some people watching that may not know who you are. You are obviously at least known to us in the podcast world, because when we take those long drives to Kentucky, we got to listen to something. And to me, sometimes music ain't it. But tell people at home as far as where you fit into this whole realm of whiskey.
All right. Well, I started out actually doing some travel blogging and decided while I was doing all that traveling that I should check out Kentucky and travel around and see what was going on in the world of bourbon, because I didn't really know much about bourbon at the time. And so I decided to go to 19 distilleries in 8 days and take a crash course. And so what I ended up doing was falling in love with the history of bourbon. As I went from distillery to distillery, I just really enjoyed listening to the stories and, getting a feel for all the myths and lore. And I knew it was lore because I'd go to one distillery and they'd say one thing, and then I'd go to another distillery and they'd say the exact opposite. So that got me really interested in actually doing a podcast where I researched those stories and then told those stories after doing the research to say, here's what the real story is. And that ended up turning into a book called The Lost History of Tennessee Whiskey, where I basically went in and did it was not supposed to be this thick. It was going to be 150 pages, but I found so much interesting information. There's 600 footnotes in this book. So one of the things that makes
I figured you made it bigger font for Jeff. That's why it was so big.
Well, one of the things I like to do is I like to allow other history people to be able to come in behind me and pick up on my research. So there's 600 footnotes in that book. And that's one of the things I'm a stickler for is I don't mind the lore because it keeps me busy, but I really enjoy finding out the truth behind the stories and telling them. So that ended up leading to the book Whiskey Lore Volume 1, which was, I have a lot of little myths. Well, I say little, but I have, I was going to write a book called 101 Whiskey Myths, but I'm such a writer and I want to put such detail in that would have ended up being a book about yay thick. So I decided this is Whiskey Lore Volume 1. We'll just do it in a series of books instead of.
So I do understand you're working on a current book now, which actually it's kind of unique the way you're doing it. You're releasing it kind of on your podcast, and then once you're done with the book itself, then you're going to pull it all back and archive it, and then obviously at that point you'll be ready for release. If you could maybe talk about that, with that, I like the title of it too. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, of course, I did The Lost History of Tennessee Whiskey, and the whole idea behind that was nobody had ever really told the story of Tennessee whiskey history before. And before I got working on that book, I actually did some research for the Chicken Cock brand and went into their history. And their history, if you look at their bottles, they say it goes back to 1856. Well, when I started doing their history research, come to find out the guy who is behind that brand was actually down in New Orleans selling his whiskey in the 1830s. So he's somebody that goes way back in history. And as I started doing deeper research into him, come to find out his distillery was in Paris, Kentucky, in Bourbon County, and his distillery was referred to as the Bourbon Distillery. So if he was stamping barrels, they were probably stamping barrels with the word bourbon on one side and then the name of the brand on the other side, which is basically how it went at the beginning of the excise taxes. You had to stamp your barrel after a while. So I just found that really fascinating, and I was surprised to find that Bourbon County actually did have a whiskey history. And so I have been collecting information on Bourbon County going all the way back. My research starts in the 1780s. And so prior to Elijah Craig, we hear the story. Elijah Craig, came up with charring a barrel and called his whiskey bourbon, but he was in Scott County. So why was he calling it the name of a neighboring county? Never made sense to me. So I'm actually going to go before him and show some of the people who were making whiskey in Bourbon County before that, and lead all the way up to where bourbon actually first gets its name, and really kind of demonstrate the fact that Bourbon County is where that name came from, and then show how Bourbon County lost that name. That suddenly, we think there's only one distillery now in Bourbon County, and that's fairly new. And so kind of like his Tennessee whiskey, it lost its history because it didn't come back quickly after Prohibition. And so people just forgot that Bourbon County actually had distilleries. So the book will be called The Lost History of Bourbon. And you're right. What I'm going to do is, I decided on this or that I get all the facts right before I put it into print. So I decided I'm going to actually write each chapter, put the chapters out on my podcast so you get to hear them. Doesn't mean they're going to be the final chapters, but it'll mean that it's basically the content. And then you're going to hear all the story of bourbon that really has never been told before, because nobody's covered Bourbon County in the history of bourbon.
Wow. So
Which is kind of odd, right? Don't you think?
It is odd. And when you start looking back and you realize the only name people might know from Bourbon County other than the Chicken Cock brand would be Jacob Spears, because Jacob Spears occasionally is mentioned when a historian goes, well, who could be the earliest distillers? So his name comes up, and he is a distiller from Bourbon County, started distilling in 1790. So, but what's interesting about when you go back and you look, they were setting tavern rates when that became a county in 1785, and they gave prices for whiskey. So somebody was distilling in 1785 because they had to have some source to be getting that whiskey. So that's what I'm digging into. And actually next week or 2 weeks from now, I'll be up in Bourbon County digging through the courthouse records again and trying to find as many details as I can find on that. So
yeah, Drew, I was wondering where you get all your info. Is it interviews? Is it going into these archives, or obviously online, but just book? Where do you get all this content?
Well, the one thing I've learned is that I can't really trust the internet or books, because once I go on the internet, anything goes. There's a variety of things. In fact, the guy who founded what became Chicken Cock, for the longest time, I thought he was Scots-Irish because, and actually an Irish Quaker, because what I was finding online in multiple places were all saying that is where he was, where his family was from. Come to find out, none of that stuff is actually set against actual records, whereas I found actually Scottish, and his father actually came over from Glasgow, Scotland to central Pennsylvania, and then, well, not his father, his great-grandfather, because the man who actually founded the town of Millersburg is his grandfather. So there's all these ties into the origins of Bourbon County. And the way that I found out what I found out about him, going back to 1838, is first newspapers. I'll do a big deep dive into old newspapers and see if I can find these names and things that they've done. Bourbon County's newspaper is actually really good because they, at least in the post-Civil War era, would have a column that would say, here's what all the distillers are doing week to week. So you really kind of had an idea of who the distillers were and who was doing what. After I get the newspaper stuff down, then I will have names. And so I'll go to courthouse records and I'll start digging through courthouse records, title deeds, to see who owned the property, when they owned the property. I did a lot of that with the Jack Daniel's story to try to figure out, who owned what property when, and, when did he actually start that distillery, because we get the date 1866, but if you go to the actual courthouse records, it's 1875. So it was actually 9 years after that date. Wow. So oral tradition is the other thing that you can use. However, again, going back to the Jack Daniel's example, we couldn't tell the nearest green story without oral tradition. The problem with oral tradition, though, is that it's not necessarily in time, and sometimes it's over exaggerated. And so you got to figure out ways to get around that. So I actually did an episode in my season 7 on whiskey lore, where I had in season 3 told the story that Vaughn Weaver was telling and that Jack Daniels was telling. That was done off of internet research and off of oral tradition. This time I decided I'm digging in and I'm going to find the actual records and redo the episode. And come to find out, it turns out that a lot of the stuff that's in that story, you just have to kind of move it around a little bit. And no, Jack Daniel wasn't 8 years old when he owned a distillery. He was, in his 20s by the time he owned a distillery, if you look at the actual record. And Uncle Nearest is a real person. He's in the census. I can see who his family members are. I can see when, approximate birth time for him. And so I can look at that. I can look at Dan Call's farm, and I can see that actually Uncle Nearest may have never left that farm, and that actually all the great distillers that they said he worked with, or all the people he worked for, actually were renting Dan Call's farm. So those were names that were just coming in and going out. Nearest Green never had to leave Dan Call's farm. He could have done the whole thing right there. So yeah, it's really interesting when you start looking into the record. So I don't discount oral tradition at all. When I do my research, I just don't rely on it too much for the final verdict on things. And the same with books, because most of the books that are out there right now are either repeating what's been written in other books that are not well documented, or they sometimes will guess and say, oh, this happened and this happened, so I'm going to speculate that this happened. Right. And you can't rely on that.
Yeah, I like how you did it in volume 1 of the whiskey lore, how you did like an AI question.
Yeah.
And what did AI say? And then you go and you either debunk it or prove it correct. And I really enjoyed that. That just kind of gives you that perspective of, well, maybe you can't believe everything you hear.
Well, and that's what's funny about it, is you have to remember that AI is just a collection of all the content that's out on the web. And if all the stuff on the web is wrong, and I've had many arguments with AI, I get into ChatGPT and I will ask it a question, and then it'll throw me something I absolutely know is wrong, and I will argue back with it. And of course it'll say, oh, well, you're right, but it doesn't really have any evidence beyond my word to say that it's right. It's just making me feel happy that I'm correct, although I know I am, because I have particular information. It was funny because one night I got into a whole big argument with AI over the Jack Daniels story. And by the end of it, it said, you should write a book. And I said, I did. So anyway.
So we do have, Drew, we do have questions in chat, and to remind people who are new to this show or hasn't been on for a while, if you would like to ask questions to our guest tonight, Drew, just begin it, if you could, with the letter Q. That way I can easily find it in chat. So let's go with our first question for the evening. It comes from East Coast Whiskey Sippers, and I like this question. He says, what role did early families like the Rippies and the McBrayers play in shaping the early identity of Kentucky bourbon before it became globally famous?
Well, it's interesting because the McBrayers, probably more so than the Rippies, had developed a great reputation. And in fact, their marketing would say that they were the favorite of the crowned heads of Europe. Well, a lot of bourbon made its way overseas, because I see that in Bourbon County's history, that chicken cock was actually being shipped over to Germany. Germany was a huge market. I mean, I say huge, but huge probably in terms of something other than, malt whiskey, which would probably be the main thing they would have had over there. So for an American market, shipping to Germany was a big thing. So I can buy that. I've not dug a lot into the McBrayers' history, but I do by some researching on Old Crow and E.H. Taylor. E.H. Taylor actually said that The McBrayers were one of those distilleries that he really, or distilling families that he really thought was a top-notch whiskey until they decided to start using column stills, and then he said that their product went downhill, but they quickly remedied that by going back to pot stills. So what's interesting though is that what is difficult about these older names is that if they disappeared after Prohibition, it's the same problem Bourbon County has. People don't remember the names because there was nothing to latch onto after Prohibition. Now, Cedar Brook did have, I think, some time after Prohibition, but it didn't hang around long. So we start to forget about it. With the Rippies, what frustrates me about the Rippies is that when I went to Wild Turkey on my first trip on the Bourbon Trail, when you walk down that long hallway down to where the gift shop is now, they had the history of Wild Turkey, and the Rippies were represented in that history. And the last time I went back, that history's not there anymore. They've taken all the history down. So, you know, in some ways, some of these old names, the only way that they're going to survive is for people to come forward and start a new brand under their name, or in the case of the Rippy House, you know, where they're having their big celebration over the Spirits of Lawrenceburg video.
Are you going to be there? Are you going to be there by chance?
Oh, I want to be there, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it because I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in Bourbon County the following week. So, yeah.
Okay.
We'll see how that works out. But
that should be a great time.
Well, Bill has a bunch of
Bill's going there, and Bill actually has some physical historical records that he has at his house. Have you guys ever talked to each other at all?
We have, actually, and he's texted me sometimes when he discovers something and sends it over to me. So yeah, no, I love it, and I would like to spend some more time in Lawrenceburg. It's one of those things where you go, which one of these things do I handle first? And there's so many different. And Nelson County would be interesting to do as well. So much history in that area that would be interesting to follow too. So someday. But I feel like the history of bourbon that hasn't been told, kind of that foundational, how did it get its name? When you ask people, where did it get its name from? You know, you could do a poll right now and you would probably get mixed results on whether it's Bourbon Street, New Orleans, or Bourbon County. So, boy, if we can't get that right, you know.
Yeah. Right. So how do you tune out all the noise? I mean, you got all this stuff out there. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Truth or not.
Yeah, it can be frustrating actually, because once you actually do know the truth and then you hear, or when I've done a podcast and I know somebody's heard the podcast, but then they go out and I hear them talking and they still say the old thing. It's like, you know, it is a little frustrating. But I get it because, you know, sometimes my episodes that I do when I'm doing whiskey history, I cover a lot of ground in a very short period of time. It's one of my challenges with the bourbon book because, you know, starting out in the first chapter, I want to tell the story of the Millers and how they got here from Pennsylvania. But then I also kind of want to give a little background on how distilling may have happened elsewhere in the state, just to kind of give a, you know, anchor us a little bit into the story, because there are some guesses as to where distilling started in the state. And I know Bourbon County was probably not the first place where distilling occurred in the state. But, you know, it's, my notes, I mean, I probably have 800 pages worth of notes that I have to put into a book I want to keep under 400. So, you know, it's at some point I just have to go, okay, cut that, and you know, let's not overwhelm people with too many names and too much information, because people read for stories.
Right. Well, getting through these questions, I hope you don't mind.
No.
Chris Blankenship asked, what is the craziest, most interesting piece of whiskey lore that you have found in your travels and research?
Oh, well, that's a hard one because a lot of them are crazy. I will say that the E.H. Taylor Bottled in Bond, that's one of the ones I wrote about first. So I felt pretty solid on the story of E.H. Taylor and Bottled in Bond. I was down with Seth Detling, and we were chatting, and I was debunking all this lore in front of him, and he's like, you know, next thing you're going to tell me is E.H. Taylor had nothing to do with the Bottled in Bond Act. And I said, well, actually,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, do tell.
yeah. And that's something we can do here. If people want to throw out something that they want me to debunk, I may or may not be able to do it. But the E.H. Taylor story is interesting. Again, I went and redid that whole episode because while I was studying and reading for the Lost History of Tennessee Whiskey, I had heard that there was a Tennessee legislator who might have been in on getting that bill passed. And so I went trying to find who he was. And as I was digging through, I was in an Internal Revenue report from 1895. And the head of the revenue was basically saying, look, Hiram Walker Canadian Club is kicking our tail in the export market. And the reason they're doing it is because they have a bonded whiskey and they send it over bonded. We need a bonding act so that we can compete with the Canadians in the export market. And so I read this and I go, are you kidding me? So now I have to start digging a little deeper. Well, come to find out, E.H. Taylor never got out of Kentucky. He was basically suing anybody who had the name Taylor in their whiskey name. So he's constantly in Kentucky. I never see him. Now, his godson, I guess we call him James E. Pepper, actually did go up to Washington, D.C. one time to speak about the Bottled in Bond Act. And he was really the only one from Kentucky other than a forgotten distiller named Shirley and a member of the Kentucky Distillers Association. Otherwise, the only other person from Kentucky that was spending time up there was Isaac W. Bernheim, who was a rectifier who wanted it killed. So he spent all his time trying to kill the thing up there. The one man who was doing all of the work to get this passed, the man who wrote the bill, the man who carried it to the White House, he actually walked all the way from Capitol Hill after it was passed to take it down to President Cleveland's desk, was a guy named Walter Evans. And what's interesting about Walter Evans, he was a Kentucky House member who had at one time been the head of the Internal Revenue. And so that's the reason why he was asked to be the one to carry the torch on this thing. And it took him over a year to get this thing passed because the rectifiers started really fighting at the end. And when they started fighting, what they wanted to do was they wanted to reduce the bonding period to a year. And so the idea being all these guys who have been putting whiskey in the warehouses for 4 to 8 years and getting a tax break for it, he was wanting to take, the rectifiers were wanting to take that away from the regular distillers so that they could compete against them. And the interesting thing about Bernheim is that he knew he was going to lose. He saw the writing on the wall, and he actually said, and it's an interesting quote, there was a fight going on between William Jennings Bryant for president and William McKinley. McKinley wanted to go on the gold standard. Bryant wanted to go on the silver standard. And Bernheim said, if McKinley wins, we're on solid money with gold, and I will build a distillery. And so what happened? Day after the election is over and the results come in, Bernheim, to his word, goes out and takes out a loan to build a distillery. That distillery, Bernheim Distillery, is where Heaven Hill distills their whiskey right now. Of course, they've got their new distillery that they just opened up in Bardstown. But when that fire happened in 1997, they went to go up to Louisville and bought the Bernheim Distillery. So that is a historic, and that's why Heaven Hill has DSP KY #1, because that was the first distillery to open up after Prohibition.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, take that in.
See what I mean about a lot of details? I can throw a lot of
You
details
are
at you quickly.
Dude,
Human
that was
encyclopedia.
awesome.
That's incredible that you can rattle that off. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a story that I can't imagine unless they've listened to you before. I can't imagine too many people knew that story, and here we are. Like we all not grew up, but we all got introduced. At least I did. I'm a vast majority of people in chat. We may be 4 or 5 years into this thing, with the boom and COVID, as most people are. So we all watched that neat documentary, just like everybody else did. So, to us, that's our historical Bible, so to speak, when it comes to whiskey, right? And I would imagine you probably have an opinion on that.
I have not seen it, believe it or not.
You're kidding.
I have not. I sometimes avoid these things. I don't know why.
All right, so.
Yeah. Sometimes I will get kind of annoyed because I know that a lot of lore is going to be. I mean, the first thing I saw was something called Bourbon Tucky, which was on DirecTV. And that's what inspired me to go to Kentucky because, they were interviewing Jimmy Russell and, they were going into these old distilleries and showing stuff. And I'm like, man, that looks really cool. So I appreciate what those documentaries do. It's just sometimes they're like nails on a chalkboard for me because I'll hear it and I'm like, stop spreading that. That's not true.
It'd be a great project, and obviously we're not going to do it tonight. And this would be awesome if we ever could pull this off. And whether or not we could do it on a special stream or on Google Meets or whatever that is, like we stream, have you in chat or have you on the screen to the side, and we project neat. And I have my finger on the pause button. And we can kind of go scene by scene.
Yeah.
And you can kind of break it down to us. Dude, granted, it'd probably take all evening, but man, that'd be a great thing to do. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's fun busting these things. And what's fun is when you discover and you're like, holy cow. I mean, okay, we call Weller the original wheated whiskey. Well, they didn't actually say that until 2012. Before that was not said. And when I started going back and researching how my jaw hit the ground when I found an advertisement for Weller from 1912 that said it was the highest amount of rye in any bourbon. So really? The original wheater actually started as a rectified whiskey because W.L. Weller was a rectifier. And he actually bought whiskey from the Whiskey Trust. So completely different history. And that's what Pappy was selling at the very beginning, was he was selling rectified whiskey. And over time, they hooked up with the Stitzel distillery, and they were sourcing whiskey from the Stitzel distillery. And that's where, when those two combined, Stitzel and Weller, that Pappy fell in love with the wheated mash bill that they had at Stitzel Brothers. So it's really interesting. But again, you can look all the way through the 20th century trying to find anybody talking about a wheated bourbon or a wheated whiskey. It's not until 1999 that I see the first mention of wheated. And it was actually from a writer in Rhode Island or somewhere that was basically teaching people how to taste whiskey. So
interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our next question is from Elijah Craig. Take that for you. We love Elijah. He's a long time viewer. We love him.
Okay.
But he goes under Elijah Craig. He says, how has propaganda or the lore been used to market certain distilleries? Well, I guess you could even nowadays, right?
Oh yeah, just open. I mean, the propaganda goes all the way back to, it's interesting. I did an episode around Jack Daniel and how this myth that it's the oldest registered distillery in the United States came about. Now, I already told you 1875 is when he started the distillery. Well, that's when he started the Daniel and Call distillery with Dan Call. It wasn't until 2 years later that he took it over and started doing it himself. And this was on the Dan Call farm. So what's interesting is that once you go from the Dan Call farm and you move to Cave Spring Hollow, where it is now, which was around 1882 or 1883, you now get a new registered distillery number. And so the interesting thing is that the original number for the Daniel and Call distillery was number 7. Now that number may sound familiar to Jack Daniel fans, that it was number 7. What's interesting is the reason that old number 7 came around was, and I know I'm going off of the course a little bit, I always love throwing this in, is that old number 7 was the old 4th district number 7. The Internal Revenue decided to combine the 4th and 5th districts, and when they did, there was a newspaper article that said all of the distilleries from the 4th going into the 5th, their numbers are not changing except one distillery, the Daniel and Call distillery, will no longer be number 7. It will be number 16 in the 5th district. Now, Nashville was a big market for Jack Daniels, so it's a good bet that if you've been in there, like Jack Daniels is a great salesman, he's in there selling his whiskey, he's probably having to remind people that this is the old number 7 from the 4th district. And so that's most likely where that name came from. Now, when it moved to Cave Spring Hollow, it became number 514. It was registered distillery number 514. That's not number 1. So this idea of it being the first registered distillery kind of gets blown out of the water with that. The way that came about, and this gets to this propaganda built up behind your brand. What happened was in 1895, Jack Daniel's started advertising that they were the oldest continuously running distillery in operation. Now, this was actually probably true. They said we're the oldest running, continuous running distillery according to the Internal Revenue in Washington. Well, the reason they could probably make that claim is because at that time, the Internal Revenue was going through and shutting down distilleries right and left for tax stamp fraud. They would take a stamp off of one barrel and put it onto another barrel. And when they would do that, what would happen is, of course, they didn't have to pay tax. So they were it was a tricky way of tax evasion. So anytime the Internal Revenue came in and looked, they would shut a distillery down and they would put the distillers in prison. And they would have to, they'd be in there for a short period of time, they'd be back out. Well, Jack Daniels never got shut down. So because it didn't get shut down and because he had such a squeaky record, all of a sudden the Internal Revenue is looking, and suddenly 2 years later, we get the newspaper article that says Jack Daniels Distillery shut down for tax stamp violations. So now you've been promoting that you are the longest continuously running distillery, but you've lost that now. So what do? Well, you just change the wording a little bit. So they started with it in Alabama at one of their cousins' stores, and they started saying that it was the oldest registered distillery in the United States. And that continued on. And now people buy it because Jack Daniels, if you look at their number, just like Bernheim, they are DSP TN number 1. So you go, well, we were the first. Well, here's the thing. You were the first in Tennessee after Prohibition because RD numbers were used before Prohibition. DSP numbers came about after Prohibition. So that is a modern number, not an older number. So, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, next question. These are fantastic answers, by the way. Next questions. ND Kenny VIP says, in all your research, what whiskey family or distillery is your favorite to research?
Well, part of the reason I'm writing the Lost History of Bourbon is because I find the Miller family to be absolutely fascinating, and nobody knows who they are.
Yeah, that's a family I've never heard of.
Yeah. The Miller family. John Miller, Major John Miller, came from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Now, Carlisle, Pennsylvania was where the Whiskey Rebellion, when the Whiskey Rebellion was going on, they stationed the troops there before they went west.
It's in Washington County, right? Washington County, is that where they're?
It was in Cumberland County. So Washington would have been once they actually got out to the Pittsburgh area, which was because that's south of there. And yeah. So it's interesting because he comes in, he founds Millersburg, he owns a mill, his brother is there too, he also owns a mill, and in his will there is a still. So there was distilling going on in the Miller family at that point. Now, his son, Joseph, is interesting because Joseph is a very well-to-do merchant in Millersburg. He then, the whiskey legacy then goes over to his son, James Alexander Miller. James Alexander Miller is the one I was talking about before, whose brand became Chicken Cock, but after his death. So what's interesting about it is that if I look through 1840s newspapers throughout the country, the first time bourbon shows up, and we can go back and we say 1821 is what everybody claims. 1821 is the year that in Maysville, Kentucky, there was a wholesaler who wrote bourbon whiskey, the words side by side. Well, it was actually a Bourbon County newspaper that was writing about it. They were likely just saying, this is whiskey that was made by our distillers in Bourbon County because Maysville's in Mason County. So it was the geographical thing that they were pointing out, not a style. After that, all you see is basically Bourbon County whiskey in any advertisements all the way up into the 1840s. New Orleans, anywhere. In fact, there's no mention of bourbon whiskey or Bourbon County whiskey in New Orleans until the 1840s. So all this, we had sent boats down and all of that. It was probably seen as Kentucky whiskey, but not necessarily as bourbon. So Miller, when I stumbled into his name and saw the article in the Louisville Courier Journal in 1858 saying, James is going down for his 19th annual trip to New Orleans. I'm like, mind blown. Okay, this guy actually is going down. I need to look into him. The more I look into him, the more I start finding out that advertisements for him in Charleston, South Carolina, and Baltimore, Maryland, call his whiskey Miller's Bourbon Rye Whiskey. Now, that's a bit of a mind blower, right? But what we have to realize is that these guys, the Millers, came from Pennsylvania. And a lot of those early distillers, like Jacob Spears, came from Pennsylvania. The Shaw family, they're another family that came from Pennsylvania. It's likely in the barter economy, they would get more value out of making rye whiskey than they would out of making corn whiskey. Even though corn's everywhere, corn doesn't necessarily have a lot of value because if you think about it, what do you value more? Do you value that whiskey that you had to hunt for and really struggle to get that is really good, or the bottom shelf one? Sure. And corn would have been the equivalent of sort of bottom shelf at that point because everybody's got corn, easy to make. So you're going to value the thing that's harder to get. And I find that all the way up until 1858, when he is calling for farmers to send him grain because he's asking for wheat and rye. He's not asking for corn. So either he's got a supply of corn or he's basically making a wheat and rye whiskey. And that is what he is making. Now, he did sell a product later on that was called Miller's Bourbon and Miller's Rye. So at some point they split. And so that's part of the subject that I want to cover. But he ended up a very rich man, but he died in 1860, right before he was only 42 at the time, died of asthma. And we actually just found his deathbed will. So it's really interesting because he was extremely rich. He had 20 enslaved people on one of his properties. So, and this is a part of whiskey history that in bourbon that nobody really talks about either, are the enslaved people that were working these distilleries. So it's just really interesting to see who he was, and then this name Chicken Cock, because what happened was after he died, they auctioned the distillery off. He gave money to his bookkeeper, G.G. White. G.G. White becomes a part owner in that, and within 4 years, he becomes the richest man in Bourbon County. So there was a lot of money in that brand, and that brand survived all the way up until Prohibition, through Prohibition. But after Prohibition, it became a Baltimore whiskey. So it was basically using Baltimore spirits. and just faded after a while. It didn't make it past World War II until recently when it was brought back. So,
Well,
yeah.
All right. I know we got quite a few questions because you're intriguing a lot of people. So it's more questions, but I do want to get through these. East Coast Whiskey Sippers does ask for a whiskey enthusiast looking to step off the beaten path. What is one hidden gem or under the radar distillery region you would highly recommend visiting?
Well, boy, that's a good question because you could, I'm partial to Colorado. Colorado just has a mass of great distilleries, and I guess it's out of their beer making culture or what it may be, but I just find a lot of high quality distilleries in Colorado. The Midwest is really interesting. When I started my bracketology thing that I've been doing on the Whiskey Lore Instagram, I asked people to nominate distilleries from all different sections of the country. And I'm from Michigan originally. We moved to South Carolina or North Carolina when I was 10, but there's still part of it in me. And so all of a sudden I started seeing all these Michigan distilleries. I'm like, they have distilleries in Michigan? What's the deal with that? And then I started seeing Ohio distilleries and Wisconsin distilleries, and Illinois and Indiana. And I'm like, holy cow, man, there are a ton of distilleries that now the deeper I look into them and the more I've now started traveling to them, I'm quite amazed by. So I will say that you can, if you're wanting to stay around Kentucky to find places, just head north a little bit because there's some great ones. Or Missouri has a great number of distilleries that are making some really fascinating stuff. So you don't have to go very far, but if you head out west, Colorado is a great place to start.
That's very cool. All right, so next question from Mr. Barlow. He says, have you discovered regional distilling differences / preferences like the Lincoln County process that are still in place today you find interesting or unique?
I find that craft distilling has opened up a world of creativity that is incredible, because when I started researching for my Experiencing American Whiskey book, there's 220 profiles in there. Some of those distilleries I've been to, some of them I just called them up and started talking to them. And I'm hearing the things that people are doing across the country that just floor me. Who'd have thought that, Thornton Distillery in Illinois would be making whiskey out of peat from the Mississippi River? You're like, okay, that's new. There's a lot of, I love a lot of the farm distilleries. I went out to Frey Ranch last year and just absolutely love that. You're walking onto somebody's farm who has a passion for the farm, but also has a passion for whiskey, and you see those things coming together. And what I found interesting, because last year to do that book, I was trying to hit all 50 states and go to a distillery in all 50 states. I got the 30. I got the 36. My Western trip was the most fascinating because I started in Colorado. I went to Boulder Spirits, and then I went down to New Mexico and went to As Above, So Below, which is in Santa Fe, both dealing with high altitude. So certain distilling issues they got to deal with. Then I head to Salt Lake City, and I'm at Sugar House, and they've got, again, slightly different type of climate. You then go out to Nevada. It's the high desert. It's dry. If they put a barrel in a barrel warehouse, it's very easy. If it's not, controlled in some way, that the barrel's just going to evaporate in a year. So, you deal with that. Then I go down to Hinter House, which is right across the border in the Sierra Nevadas in California. And he's basically telling me, if we'd have built our distillery on the other side of the road, we would have a completely different whiskey, because on the side they're on, they're sheltered by a mountain, but on the other side they would have gotten direct sunlight. So just fascinating. And then I go to Oregon. They're talking about, again, high desert, but a cooler climate. So all of these distilleries, I go to the Deep South. There's a lot of distilleries in the Deep South that make wheated whiskeys. And part of me goes, they're probably doing that because wheat and age usually tend to work well together. To me, wheated whiskeys get much more interesting the older they get. If you got rapid aging, you're probably getting sort of those same effects. And so you're not killing off the rye spice in your whiskey by rapid aging. You're actually letting the wheat kind of mellow and do what it needs to do and infuse with the oak character that's going on there. So, yeah, I think there are sort of regions, but this is the thing. I'm a big Scotch guy too. So, even if you go to Scotland, don't let them tell you about the 5 regions that they all have their own personalities, because it's not true anymore. One of my favorite whiskeys is a Speyside whiskey it's known for its peat. So, that's the thing I find fascinating about it. And this is great, because what you should do is you should go to an area with a clear mind, taste, and remember, it's not necessarily about the place that you're going, although the weather will have influence, but and the grain may have influence. But each distillery can be doing some really fascinating stuff just on their own.
Yeah, you mentioned the Scotch. I was telling them earlier how you traveled early on before you started into the Kentucky and all the bourbon and whiskey. You went overseas. You were doing Scotland, Ireland. I know you got that. There's a book that you wrote about. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. I was the first person, actually. It's so funny. I got about 3/4 of the way through the trip. I was going to see 50 different distilleries, and when I got about halfway through, one of the distillers said, you're the first person to do this in the modern industry, because Ireland is so new in terms of their distilleries. For the longest time, it was just Middleton and Bushmills, and that was it. And so they said, you're the first person. Even the head of the Irish Whiskey Association hasn't done a trip like this yet. So it was really interesting, because I learned a lot about Irish whiskey. And you'll laugh, when I went over there, I was not a fan of Irish whiskey. But the whole reason I went was because I wanted to learn. And what I discovered was there's some amazing stuff being made over there. The thing is that a lot of it doesn't make its way over here. So have it. Same thing over there too. Actually, a lot of people over there don't understand bourbon because they don't get the good bourbons. Everybody's got Jack Daniels on the shelf and Old Number 7 at 80 proof. So yeah.
So our next question, this ought to be good. I can't wait to hear this answer. Chris Blankenship, who is a very good friend of Glens Creek with Dave and all them. Can you give me some Old Crow lore that Dave, Bob, and the Glens Creek crew might not know?
You're gonna have a hard time, because Cranky Dave follows my podcast. So
I love it. So just Cranky Dave. Where you going?
Cranky Dave. Yeah, it's so funny because I went up there for something. I forget what it was, and I got an email. It was from Dave. He's like, little bird told me you're going to be up in the area. And I'm like, yeah, I need to stop by. Because he and I have some great conversations. I don't know what I could put over on Dave. He and I, the last time we got together, I just did the Woodford Reserve tour for the first time since the first time I went. And the first time I went, I knew nothing really about whiskey history. And so this was really interesting, because now I'm going to all these places. I'm kind of in the middle of where James Crow would have been doing his work, and, kind of getting in the whole vibe of the thing. And the other thing I realized was that when I went to that distillery, the first thing you see are those beautiful pot stills. And you're like, oh, those 3 beautiful pot stills. And I got a chance to interview Chris Morris, former master distiller. And I asked him on the podcast, I said, would you consider that triple distillation, first of all? So you're basically doing triple. And he says, yes. And then I said, well, that's not all that goes in a Woodford Reserve bottle, correct? And he said, no, we have, column still whiskey that we bring in from Louisville. And so we blend those together to make the Woodford Reserve. So what you're drinking in that bottle is not just that pot still. And so when I went this time, I had to ask the question to the tour guide. I said, so what percentage of the whiskey in the bottle is actually coming from those pot stills. And she said, well, you know, she wouldn't give me a figure, but she's like, the majority of it's coming from the Louisville column still. So I went over and talked to Dave, and we're sitting there chatting, and he said, did you go to Woodford Reserve? I said, yeah. He said, did they give you that line about the pot stills? I said, yeah. And he said, and I said, how much do you think? What percentage do you think? He said, well, I worked it out one day trying to figure out how much you could produce on a batch system versus all the product that they need to put out. He said, I'd be surprised if 8% of what goes in that bottle is actually from those pot stills. And so I've sort of heard that from other places now, that's kind of a speculation. That's probably anywhere between 8 and 15% of the whiskey in a Woodford Reserve bottle actually comes from those pot stills. So
yeah, it's funny you mention that. I mean, you know, people plan Kentucky Bourbon Trail trips all the time. You know, what are some of the biggest mistakes people make when they go on these tours and basically take in all the lore that's out there? You know what I mean? It's
well, you know, the thing I'm going to say is that this is where the lore doesn't bother me so much when you're on the trail, because you're a lot of people will be first timers. And so this is their first chance to hear stories. And those stories are great. I mean, whether they're true or not, they're entertaining and they suck you in. And so it's kind of the feeling that I don't mind you getting sucked in by that. That's why I won't really argue against something like neat from a standpoint that if it draws people into whiskey, I'm fine with that. It's just after a while, you're going to start bumping into people who have listened to some of the research that I've done, and you're going to come across sounding like, yeah, you're one of those, that still believes that Bourbon Street is where, bourbon got its name from. And, I don't want it to turn into something where people are, it's funny, when I go on tours, I went to Log Still Distillery, and it's funny because I did a lot of the research, and I did 2 podcast episodes around the town of New Hope and how New Hope, Kentucky used to have 12 or 11 distilleries all at the same time, and good sized distilleries. And, and so I did the whole history on that. And then I went there to do a tour, and I specifically did not want them to know who I was, the tour guide, because I don't want to intimidate people. I want you to tell the story. Just tell the story the way you tell the story. But it was funny because afterwards she confessed. She said, they told me who you were when you came in. Nice. And it's like, I understand. I always say, in fact, I've said it in the beginning of, I probably say it in the beginning of Whiskey Lore Volume 1, not to beat people over the head with it. People are gonna, it's gonna take a long time for some of these pieces of lore to change, and some of them will never change because the marketers have much more power over people than any little historian does. Yeah. So
no, that is true. And same goes with a lot of other things. We're going to do one last question. We're overdue on your time, and we appreciate you staying as long as you have.
We would have to have you back and continue on.
So one last
happy to do it. Happy to do it.
And we'll move on to the rest of our evening. But it comes from Gunhand Luke. He asked, have you looked into the history of Statesville, North Carolina area? He has heard that at one time it was something like 400 plus rectifiers.
Yeah, it's a really, it's not a history that I've 100% researched to a point. I will say, for experiencing American whiskey, to be able to write a history of American whiskey that wasn't centered on bourbon, that it included bourbon, but bourbon was only like 20% of that history prior to Prohibition. And so in doing that, I went through a bunch of old Internal Revenue records, and they would give they would tell you how much grain was being used in these distilleries overall in a state by state way. And then they would also tell you how many distilleries there were in a state, how many were active, and what they were producing. Now, this is interesting because when you look at North Carolina, your eyes will pop out of your head because you'll go, holy cow, they had a lot of distilleries in that one state. What is the deal? I mean, they dwarf Kentucky. And I'm
Oh, really?
going, where are all these distilleries? Because I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina. So, I mean, if there were distilleries around, you would think at some point, of course, Bourbon County, you know, maybe we don't know what we should know. But as I started looking at it, I realized that some of those distilleries had there were basically less than one employee per distillery if you averaged it out. You're like,
Oh, okay.
what does that mean? How does that work? What it means is that some of these distilleries were probably just stills. It was a still on a, you know, and this is what we have to remember. We call distilleries like they've always been, like they are now. But you know, in the 1810s that I'm researching right now, a distillery could be a still on the creek. And they talked about in Bourbon County that there were you could walk down Townsend Creek and there was a still every 100 feet.
Oh,
And
okay.
and so that's considered a distillery because you are manufacturing something and you're having to let the state know that you're doing it. And so that's where they get these records from. So
Well, with that theory, you can call this place a liquor store.
there you go. Absolutely. I mean, and this is the thing, is that a lot of times we will take our modern view of things, especially in marketing, and we'll throw them back onto historic times. Like sweet mash and sour mash were completely opposite in the past. They had completely different meanings than what they have now. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. But there was a article I found by a Chicago, Illinois distillery. Now, Chicago was the biggest distilling state in the Union in the 1870s, 1880s, because the Whiskey Trust was there. And so they were pumping out a lot of what they called whiskey. I don't know that we would call it whiskey today, but there was an article that said, you know, I saw the other day, the writer is saying something, I saw the other day that North Carolina has 280 distilleries or something like that. You know, but their output is like 1/100th of what Illinois puts out of its 8 distilleries, or, you know. So the thing you got to keep in mind, and then I thought at first maybe they were brandy distilleries, because brandy distilleries only would run for a very short period of time because they're seasonal. Corn distilleries were also, because, you know, they work half a year basically, but depending on their size. But I think that's the thing, is that these were just stills. That there was no thriving industry going on in North Carolina. It looks like there was, but when you actually crunch the numbers, what you find is that these were probably very small distillers who were selling to their local communities. Maybe some of it made it out of the area, but you could almost look at them like they're moonshiners in a way, except they're just legitimate moonshiners rather than so it's interesting. I definitely want to dig deeper into it because I'd love to know that culture.
Well, Drew, I think this is one of these things where we'd like to probably circle back with you, because I don't think we can fit. We've kind of already realized that can't fit everything in one evening. And, so we'll definitely love to have you back on, guys. There is a hashtag game out there, Drew. I don't expect you to be aware of it, but basically we're running a hashtag game. We'll do like a drawing, and if so, the one lucky winner will win one of your books. But that will ship to them as well. But real quick before we end this interview, please tell everybody out there how they can find you and how often, and all those socials that you guys going on. If you could just do that.
Okay. Whiskey Lore, you can go to whiskeylore.org actually, and you'll find all my links. But Instagram is where I'm probably most active. So just look for Whiskey Lore on Instagram, and then the podcast, just look for Whiskey Lore. And I actually make little notes or a little icon by which ones are my interviews where I'm interviewing people, and then which ones are my stories will have a little book by them. So
and then you do also have a Patreon, correct?
And I have a Patreon, which is also Whiskey Lore. And then if you want to find my books, whiskeylore.org/Amazon will actually take you to my Amazon authors page.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Drew, this was awesome, man.
Yeah, it was.
Like wealth of information.
It was. And I really like what you're doing with the brackets. I really like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a chance to really get craft distilleries seen that have never been seen before. We did 1,000 of them. I'm never going to do 1,000 again. That was too many, but it got some people seen, which is what I really wanted to do. So I appreciate that.
All right, Drew.
That's
Well,
awesome.
we'll catch you next time, and appreciate you coming on Bourbon and Balls. And we definitely would like to have you back on. Maybe we like to do roundtables
Okay.
once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Maybe get some prior guests on. I think you'd be someone we would love to have on as well as part of a roundtable. It's yet to be determined when we're going to do it next, but
Okay.
when we do, we'll be giving you a call.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right. Sounds great. Cheers.
Thanks, Drew.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Wealth of information.
Jeez, Pete.
Another good
We-
night.
we-
Open up
just-
that brain, man.
We just
like,
scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just to be able to, like, no notes, no anything, just
Yeah.
You imagine him and Jeff in a room.
Oh man, I shit. I would love to sit in the room with him, just pick his brain and just listen. And I mean, I've read the books. I've listened. You know, I've got
yeah,
the audio books and as well. And
Hey,
yeah. No, it's awesome.
hey, Jeffro.
Yeah.
Unless you want to keep it the way it is, you want to fix your hat. You look like you're a drunken sailor.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
I
if
mean,
the
I
hat
could do whatever. You know, I mean, turn
yeah,
around.
turn sideways. There you go.
You know,
It might
do
be.
a little bit of
It might be
this.
because of the Jeff pours too.
Nah.
That's why I took a picture. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. When you pour that thing, this is what I'm talking about. You do the Jeff pours,
Four-finger.
Oh, it's a 2-finger.
dude.
That's
You
a-
already drank some of that, dude. It was a bump. No, dude, it was wait,
That's-
dude, it was
that's
a
a
bump.
Two
Oh
fingers
my
are
god,
the size of my foot.
your pours are
Yeah.
just.
A Jeff two-finger is totally different than.
Well, you know, when you got, never mind.
you can give out the one. We're good.
I'm just saying, dude. Like your pours are incredible. All right.
I don't like my whiskey.
Where's that mute button at? All right, guys. We're gonna speed this show up because we want to get you guys out of here on time, or at least try to.
I did see somebody put a link into the Amazon book.
Yes.
So yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Thanks.
I don't even know where to begin with this show. All right. So real quick. So a couple of changes, and granted, I put it in a Patreon, but I think sometimes it's best for me to explain it verbally, and I won't spend a whole lot of time on it. But this is part one of the Bourbon and Balls changes that's happened in 2 weeks. So listen up.
Yeah.
Hashtag game starting in 2 weeks. It's going to be basically hashtag pregame, just like we always do. And there'll be hashtag whatever the theme of that show is for that night. You guys are used to different ways. Even tonight, we kind of did the way that we've been doing for quite a while. We are going to be making changes. So the hashtag starting in 2 weeks, whether it's pregame or in the middle of the show, whatever, it's going to correlate with a duck. So if you win a hashtag game, the pregame, or if you win during the show, you basically will get an extra duck
race.
or a duck to put into the super chat. And then that super chat will be ran. And the winner of that will get Bourbon and Balls merchandise. And then I'm going to leave it at that for now, only to say next week we'll explain part 2 of this, where it will tie into paid Patreons, where they'll experience other prizes that I think they're accustomed to. And we added some other bonuses to higher tiers, things like that. So we kind of just revamped it. But I want to stare at that a little bit more, make sure that I'm not missing anything. But anyways, that is what we're going to do for now. But that's going to be in 2 weeks, so be prepared. There are changes coming, but I think they're necessary changes in order for us to be around for a long time.
Yeah, we're kind of rolling it out. First phase, like we're doing tonight, to let you absorb it, kind of get questions. If you have, throw us emails, questions, if you, whatever it is you don't understand about it. And then next week we'll give you a little bit more information. But we are making some changes, and it is a little kind of hard, somewhat confusing if you think about it. But
different, but
yeah, a little different. But give you a little bit of time to absorb before we actually make the changes.
All right. That being said, let's run our hashtag game, and the winner will get
That book right
they
there.
will get that, and then we'll throw him a little gift that I'm not sure we even said anything what it was, but we'll throw in something.
Actually, this goes into the super chat, does it not? Or
Does
does
it?
it go in? I can't remember.
Ooh, it does.
This goes into the super
Well, did
chat.
you read all the other books?
Yeah, I'm reading these too right now.
You're
This
reading
book,
two
right-
books at the same time?
I read like 4 or 5 books at a time.
At the
right
same
now.
time.
Yeah.
You have them open at the same time?
No, but I read like a couple chapters and I'll put the book down, pick up another.
All
But if you have the chance, get this book right here, The American Whiskey Experience. This is the book that we're talking about when you talk about the brackets. This breaks it down by region and by state. It gives all the different distilleries within each state and within each region and what they are and what they do and what they produce.
Okay.
This is a wealth of information right here.
right.
So
All right. That being said, let's run this hashtag and let me share the screen. I'm not used to this, folks, because Tyler's not here once again. He left us in the lurch.
Back.
But here we go. 52. You got to be on. You know how it works. Here we go. So we want to write this one down.
I got it. Yep.
The winner of tonight's hashtag game is Jim Turner. Congratulations, Jim.
Congratulations.
If you are in chat, please identify yourself, and we will move on to other things for this evening. And we'll wrap this night up with a good old Google Meets.
yep.
But anyways, Jim Turner, are you here? Mr. Jim Turner.
Yeah, somebody I just saw the comment there. They are on Audible as well. Ebooks. You know, if you
Yeah.
want to, if you don't have Audible, I mean, I think they're on Apple Books too. You can listen to the audio version there. They're all over the place.
Is he showing up for you computer people? Is he showing up in chat when you start typing his name? If not, we will unfortunately have to move on.
It was nice having a little bit of a break from the
Change up from
a
the
change
regular.
up from the regular. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit more history of, you know, we did somewhat become educational
Negative. He
tonight.
is,
Well, you know, our thoughts on what the history is
Well, yeah.
versus what the reality is.
Right,
And
yeah.
he goes in, he dives deep.
Mhm.
So
Okay, so
That's
we're
awesome.
gonna have to move on from Jim, unfortunately. Here we roll on. Are you kidding me?
what?
Hold on. Oh, here it is. I thought I got rid of it. Draw again. Here we go.
Numero dos.
All right.
Who do we
and
got?
the lucky winner, because Jim is not here, is
Timber.
Timber, are you here? If so, we will get something out to you, let you know. If you guys could also let me know if Timber is in chat, that would be great.
So remind me, did hashtag lore? What were the giveaways? Was it the book or was
Well, it might be scrolling at the bottom of the thing, just like
Well, I
you
can't
know.
see all this. To enter the win show sample, our super chat.
So, anyways, is Timber here? Timber is here. Great, awesome. So
Sweet.
Timber's here. We can remove that.
Write that down, please.
Okay.
All right, so Timber is here. So we got that out of the way. We'll be sending that out on Monday, and then we are now going to get to our super chats. Chad, you got any new news to go over, people?
New news coming up. Yeah, you guys are coming out with Silk Velvet coming up, right?
Silk Velvet next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
you know
right.
where-
24th.
guess where we're staying at?
Spirits of
Yeah.
Lawrenceburg.
We get to stay at Colt. We're gonna stay at Colt Pick.
You guys are heading back down there. Sorry I cannot make it with y'all, but
Yeah.
that'll be an awesome
I think Tyler
experience.
will be with us.
You
But
guys are going with
Yeah, Tyler is coming.
yeah.
yeah, Tyler's gonna make it.
Yep. And then they're gonna, you know, Colt Pick is gonna put us up again at the cabin.
Yeah, with
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna be the whole bells and whistles like it was last
Well,
time.
we don't-
went.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, but
Yeah, we
still,
don't-
they're gracious enough
Absolutely.
to open it up
Yep.
to let you guys stay down there.
Yep.
It's an amazing property,
Oh,
as
man.
everybody knows.
It is
already.
the Jurassic Park of whiskey.
That's right.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Yeah,
the Silk
you
Velvet's
got
gonna be
everything.
Silk Velvet's gonna be good.
That'll be great.
That'll be
and you're
um,
tagging that with Bonding Over Bourbon.
yes. Bonding Over
Yes,
Bourbon will be with
Kristen
us.
Cat.
Chris
Yep.
and Kat.
Yeah, can't wait to do that.
So
So
that'll be great.
we met them.
Combining with them.
Chad and I met them at the SLB event.
SLB.
So that was a great
They're
thing to do.
fantastic. Yeah.
So that'll be a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Then we got Fort Hamilton Distillery.
Fort Hamilton coming at the end of the month.
30th.
Yeah.
I know nothing about them, so
Um,
that'll be good.
Yeah, that's one of those small craft distilleries. I don't know a whole lot about them either. Alex, the owner, will be on, him and his wife. We should be getting samples any day.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll be an interesting one as well. I've heard a lot of different things about them. That's kind of why, one of those things where you reach out and find out who they are and what they are and what they do. So,
So what I'm really, I'm trying to multitask here, but I'm really excited about now that we're basically on to our next interview for next week or our next show. Man, it's going to be a fun one. We have Whiskey Nose, Marty and Toby, and the people from Bourbonado. They're going to be coming on, and we are going to have a battle royale of the barrel pits.
And you've already sent out all the samples,
Yep,
right?
they're already sent.
They're already sent.
Yes.
So, and yeah, Renstrom's helping us out. Thanks, brother. Yeah, that'll be fantastic to be able to have Bill in the studio with us. And yeah,
no,
the
it's
battle
gonna
of
be a lot,
the
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
battle of the best. We'll see what happens.
So Jeffro,
Yes.
if you could go over, I'm gonna check my PayPal real quick. If you could go over the Venmo, that would be wonderful.
whenever
And
you're
that way
ready,
we
let
can
me know.
get people people loaded up here. Oh,
Whoa.
nothing.
And if you guys out there watching tonight, if you want to see a little bit more of something like what we did tonight, just let us know. I do like I said, the difference in what we normally do.
Jeff, I need a Venmo.
So, all right. So let's see. Will R, give him 1. Elijah Craig, give him 2. Mr. Sabic, give him 2.
Thank you all for your contributions.
C.A.
helps us
Scotty,
out.
give him 4. Gerald Romine.
Hold on, man, dude. When you say 4, I got type 4. Go ahead.
Gerald Romine, give him 4.
Jerry, nice.
All right.
Corey, give him 1.
Tonight's pregame winner.
Yep. And Mr. Vogelsang, who never wins, give him 4.
Uh-oh.
He just might win
DVD.
again. He never does, but you never know.
Never know.
And then Mike, I got you,
Be
buddy.
a dark horse.
I would imagine I got you down for, if I had to guess, 2. Yes.
Elijah Craig. Is that the same Mike you're talking about? I was gonna say I got him for 2 also. on
No,
there.
no, I'm nuts. I got something else going on.
Oh, whoa.
Oh. When you say Mike, be specific.
All right. You know what's funny is just a little clue for next week. Mike said something and he puts little comments in the thing.
Yeah.
He said he put $10 in the comments and says for your great coffee. You know what? You're not too far off on next week's announcement.
Oh, yes. That's
Bourbon and
coming.
Ballz Coffee may make a reappearance in the new Patreon structure.
Yeah.
Funny you say that.
Making a comeback. Michael Jordan said
For a limited
the greats coming back.
yeah, for a limited tier, but yeah, I think we're gonna bring back Bourbon and Ballz Coffee, but that's for next week to talk about. All right. I think we got everybody. I'm gonna load everybody up. We're gonna go classic tonight. We are gonna go back to an oldie but a goodie. We are gonna go
Eggs.
to a foodie race. We haven't done. We're not doing those spoons ever.
Tyler will
What
never
about the-
live that
what
down.
about the balloon?
We are never ever doing the spoons ever again. Sandy about had a heart attack. Which, by the way, Sandy, I found your hat. It was laying on the floor.
Upstairs.
Right.
Hey.
So, but Sandy, I found your hat, and we'll get it back to you probably. Well, next time I see you. So, all right. So we're gonna do a foodie race. We'll do a minute 30. Tonight's giveaway. Since it's so damn hot out, I figured might as well make the best of it. We're gonna do hazmat. We're doing Coy Hill, Silver Velvet, and George T. Stagg, which, by the way, they got named Whiskey of the Year.
Yep.
Ascot.
Nice.
So you get 2 ounces of those.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes. So let's do 7 times. Well, hold on. Let me share the screen first. I'm not even sure I'm doing that. Yes, I am. All right, let's do this 7 times. And then we'll get everybody out of here afterwards.
Turn all your
1,
music off.
2,
2, 3. Weller released one during that interview.
Dude,
Did
he
you
yeah.
like
I did.
I was trying to hold it in, but I was like, oh god.
All right, here we go. It's off.
While we are racing, did want to
No,
really
hold on, we're not racing yet. So
not
hush.
racing.
Let me double check chat so that we're not missing anything. Dennis Trench, did you get your PayPal? I did not get your PayPal, brother. Yeah, I did not get your PayPal. Let's give him a second.
Yep. John, appreciate that comment. I enjoyed the history tonight too. And like I said, we just scratched the surface with Drew.
Oh my gosh.
He is a wealth of information. And like I said, just reading his books, you can tell. I mean, the guy is.
Yeah, you give a simple question and it's like he could go on for 20 minutes.
Yeah, we could literally have a 3 or 4 hour show just listening.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I sent it to Charlie Gillespie. Well, there's a few of us. You know what? I do have 2. Remember that one time I found that I had 2 PayPal?
Yeah, you got 2 of few things.
Accident. I didn't.
You know.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Let me see if he's stuck in that world.
Oh. Well,
Sorry
it's
about
good to be
this.
back in studio here, boys.
Yeah, man.
How was
Great
your
to have you
vacation,
back.
by the way?
Oh god, it was
How
epic.
bougie was it?
Dennis Trench found you.
No, not bougie. I mean, you're in Alaska. It's it was great. It was fantastic.
Let me back up a little bit.
recommend.
I found Dennis.
Alan Adams knows. A lot of other people in chat, I'm sure, have been there. But yeah, that's my favorite state, without a doubt. Like, if you're gonna go, do it.
Yeah, I had a buddy. I found out he was traveling. He only did the cruise. I asked him. I
Okay.
said, where are you going? What are you doing? He said, I'm just on the boat.
Okay.
So he said he found out that it was easier. I can't remember where he found it. It took 2 days to get there and 2 days to get back to the boat because of the flights. If he would have flown in, I think he said San Francisco, they wouldn't have had to spend so much time.
Yeah.
Flying. But he would have loved to
No.
gone on land
I mean,
like you did.
Yeah, we did both. We did the cruise and interior. I did half and half. Flew into Vancouver, then did the coastline. Visited all the cities that you can only fly or ferry or boat into, cruise into, and then we did 7 days interior.
Did you catch any fish?
I caught a lot of fish.
Man, Dennis, I owe you one.
76 pounds. I've got to ship back.
Dennis, I owe you one because had I not restarted, I would not have caught this mistake. So thank you. I got to put in the plus members in there. So this is why this is why it's important when Tyler's here.
Oh,
I ain't gonna lie.
You're right. Well, thanks for letting us know.
Let me double check. And then BTM, if you're watching, we got you in from last week because you were a late entry.
And and don't forget, you do get a shot at the Gandy's mailbox too.
Yes.
So
all right. I'm sorry about this monstrosity. This is what happens when
you don't know
Tyler's
what
not
you're
here.
doing.
Don't blame it on Tyler not being here.
He just don't know what he's doing.
You want to do this?
Nope.
All right. That's what I thought. Because we saw what happened when you did it one night.
Well, it was either the computer or Tyler.
It's
Which
it's
one?
always
No, you brought that Commodore 64 over to try to run the stream and
I mean, we were set up. You took yours.
Yeah, you the one that screwed us. You took that laptop.
That was pre-planned, premeditated. It's not.
all right, now we got the plus numbers in.
All right.
Plus the laid out on it.
Okay.
Dennis,
We got them.
shuffled it.
Sweet.
Here we roll.
Here we go.
All right. So just a little bit on some new releases this week. Heaven Hill has launched their highly anticipated bottled and bond double mash Kentucky straight bourbon. It is
Hold on real
100.
quick. I love interrupting you.
I know
David
you
Nurse,
did.
yes. We got your super chat, brother.
Yep. It is 100 proofer. So that's a new release. Yellowstone limited edition 2026 is out there at SRP at $99 a bottle. Dalmore 17-year-old single malt Scotch. CA Scotty, you might be liking this one. I don't know if you like the price or not. SRP at $250 a bottle. It's like I said, 17-year-old, 42% ABV, so only a 84 proof. But it's Dalmore 17-year. And then Highland Park Cast Strength, it is out there as well. I don't have an SRP on it, but it's First Fill X Part Wine Hogshead. I don't know anything about it, but that's a new one out there as well. So
Okay.
just a few new releases this week.
All right, 15 seconds left, and here we go. We got West Virginia bourbon guy in the front, which you don't want to be. You kind of want to be where Rick Miller is, and Keith, and CA Scotty. There's kind of
Oh,
lurking,
there's
and they need to make a
CA
break
Scotty.
for it. So making a break
No.
for it is Mr. Barlow. He may hold on, and he does.
Mr. Barlow. There
Mr.
we
Barlow,
go.
you win the hazmat package, and then also a crack at Gandy's mailbox. If you could give us a 3-digit letter or a 3-digit code, I'm sorry. See if you want to crack open Gandy's mailbox.
Yep. And then don't forget next week, Whiskey Nose and Bourbonado. It's going to be
Said it
a
5,000 times.
Yep.
going to be a kind of a little bit of an epic night.
let's
And then
see
following that, like we talked about, Fort Hamilton
Yep.
on July 30th. New one out there, not so new to us. Let's put it that way.
All right, here we go. Let me check chat, and then if we have Mr. Barlow in chat, if you want to give us a 3-digit code, that would be awesome. That way you can have a crack at this Gandy code. Mr. Barlow, 777. That's what he says. All right, 777 is not it. And therefore, I can easily tell you then none of your numbers are correct because they're all identical. However, for those who are keeping score at home,
Nothing.
Are they identical?
you want to run this monstrosity?
No, we don't. We don't.
Just having fun, dude.
Anyways,
Yeah.
it's higher. You know,
That number's higher,
Bourbon and ball
or
busting. Never heard it.
the number, his number is higher, or the number that's actually the winner is higher.
the number is higher. You need to go higher.
All right, there you go. Just to clarify.
Go up.
I had a whole thing to say, but you know what? I'm not going to take more of your guys'
Come on,
time.
give us
Hey,
some more
come
ammo.
on. What do you
Keep
got?
talking.
What do you
No,
got?
I'm not going to.
Talking.
Oh,
No,
come on.
Come on.
No,
Now, here we go.
Come on.
Pout. What?
No.
Give us some more.
I want to respect
Give us something
people's
to work
time. No,
with.
I want to respect people's time.
Okay.
So I can save it for some other time. It's not that important, unlike some people in this room.
Hey, buddy.
Ooh.
I need Sandy's Weller guard. Where is it?
So, all right. There's the link in chat. Anything else anybody has to say? Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Just don't forget, we do have charity, the coal pick out there. We got till next weekend, right?
No, less than that. You got a week from today.
Week from today.
Yeah.
To put your order in, $100 a bottle for the Carrie Lynn Foundation.
Yeah, profits go to the
Profits
pro-
go to the Carrie Lynn
So
Foundation.
just throwing that out there. We also have our Cedarbrook. We still have a few bottles left of that as well. So did you post that link up there for the channel? Okay. So it's out there as well.
Sweet.
I said that about an hour ago.
Yeah, and
neither
their
am I.
Always sending back. It's
yeah,
always good.
their error code.
Yeah, you're an error code.
I live with error codes.
Oh, Tyler, come back.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys.
All
Cheers,
right.
everybody.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
See ya. There's shit everywhere. Is that
Sorry. Hold up.